All right, guys, welcome in. I'm just gonna wait for a couple more people to join in. I'll get all set up here. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, you'll know that I'm gonna have the chat window up. I'm gonna have the Q&A window up. So as I kind of chug along here in today's webinar, feel free to ask me any questions, and I'm happy to kind of pause if it makes sense. But I will answer every single question that is posted inside of the Q&A. There's also a chat functionality there. So if you guys are looking to post any thoughts or comments, you can go ahead and do that. This is going to be our biggest webinar to date. Each week they seem to grow, and last week we doubled in size. So this week should be about 150 construction professionals here, which has been really cool to see the growth over time. This is our let me see which number this is. So this is our 10th one, our 10th weekly webinar, teaching AI to construction in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been really cool. I've been getting a lot of emails after these with thoughts or requests for additional webinars. As we wait for a few more people to join in here, I just want to remind you guys as well. If you guys have any ideas or if you want to request anything, feel free to, put it in the chat, email it to me, LinkedIn message it to me. I make myself very, very available to the people that are coming to this. One, it just helps me make better webinars and helps this series grow. But selfishly, it gives me a lot of insights into, what the construction community really needs in terms of, my software that I work on for the construction community called Contracts Connected, which is AI for your back office operations. It gives me insights into where we need to go or where things are heading. So I try to share those, gather those. I try to, sprinkle them in throughout these webinars. But today's webinar, I think, is going to be pretty cool. It's really going to be about team collaboration inside of ChatGPT. But this can be done in, all of different types of AI platforms. And we have more people rolling in here. So I'm just going to get started as people continue to join. But today we're really going to be focusing in on a couple of new features. There's two new features. And if time, I have like a bonus third, really cool new feature, but it doesn't apply to everybody. So I'm saving it for the very end if I have time to jump into it. But today I'm going to be talking about company knowledge and shared prompts or shared projects. Both of them are kind of similar in a way. Last week, if you guys were here, you would have saw us build out a custom GPT or use pre-built custom GPTs like estimators and stuff. And if you guys did not join that and you want to see that webinar, it is recorded and it is posted inside of our AI community here. And I have unlocked a 7-day free trial for anybody. So if anybody wants to go get caught up on previous webinars or go experience the courses that are in there, you can do so for free with that link. That's a new thing that we're doing starting this week. So thank you guys for coming. It's only to the people that attend this webinar. So I'm going to jump in here because I think that this is going to be really useful for people. And previously, ChatGPT has required a $200 a month price point for some of these features. And you can get started, for as little as $50 a month. The regular ChatGPT subscription cost is like $20. This, Teams is now only $25. So it's literally $5 extra. And you'll be able to collaborate with your team in, new ways for these new features that I'll show you guys today. So let's jump in here. So, overall for the people that are new or even new to AI, I like to throw in one little slide here. But AI is revolutionizing the construction industry by streamlining a lot of the information management and project execution. All of this information that's always flowing back and forth, and communication that's flowing back and forth, and PDFs and attachments and emails and so on. OpenAI's latest ChatGPT features will empower teams to leverage company knowledge, which is critical, I think, for construction specifically for two reasons. The first reason is you know, keep in mind that ChatGPT is only as smart as what's on the internet and publicly available on the web. And that provides some limitations. Two reasons mainly. The first one is your company operates differently than any other construction company out there. There's no two construction companies, contracts connected that I've seen manage their back office systems the same way. There's no two companies that we've integrated Procore with the same way. There's no two companies we've integrated, Sage in the same way. That is unique to you guys, and that is not something that's found on the internet. The second piece is your projects. Everything that construction teams specifically need is related to project details, project information, a vendor, something that happened, something that's upcoming, a bid, an award, whatever you guys want to work in with AI. That information is also not on the web. So between those two main things being missing from the internet and being missing from ChatGPT, there's this barrier where a lot of construction professionals that comment on my LinkedIn stuff and so on, they might not see the true benefit, because if they're not providing a massive amount of context, or in other words, they're not like uploading PDFs into their prompts. They're not pasting a bunch of stuff into their prompts. They're going to miss out, and they're going to think that this is not super useful or beneficial. They're like, oh, it just writes this generic blah, blah, blah crap, and I can't use it. And they can't use it because it's not trained on what they do, and it's not trained on their company knowledge. It's not trained on their projects. So of course, it's not going to give you a good answer. All right. And we're seeing this big shift in AI in general. I saw a chart today where enterprise AI subscriptions for OpenAI, meaning ChatGPT, aren't necessarily on the uptick, but Anthropic, for instance, is on the uptick. Google, is getting more and more enterprise software users every single day, meaning, companies are signing on with company accounts. And I'm sort of seeing this trend, and what I'm taking away from this data is ChatGPT is really finding that they are becoming consumer AI, while Anthropic and Google is becoming enterprise AI. And their effort to become more enterprise AI, because they want consumer and enterprise, they're releasing a lot of these project management, project collaboration, shared knowledge, shared prompting features. And they're still on the forefront, I think, of this. That's why I'm focused on them in this webinar. But a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys today is also available, just in a different way, in any AI account that you guys are used to using. So what I'm going to show you today is kind of the basics. I'm going to show you on ChatGPT just because it's the most popular. But if you guys wanted to see how this applies to any other specific ones, if you guys join the AI community for that 7-day free trial this Thursday, I'll be doing an office hours for all the members in there. And you can join a Google Meet, and I'll help you guys figure that out in whatever AI system you're using. And that time is for you. All right. So, company knowledge, first thing. This is going to be, the biggest first unlock. And traditionally, what we think of as company knowledge is not only what's in our people's brains, but you guys have SharePoint, you guys have shared access to a shared file system, and that's kind of becoming your company knowledge. And that company knowledge is locked away in folders and subfolders, and somebody's manually, taking that attachment and putting it in the right subfolder so it becomes part of the company's wider knowledge base that everybody can access, right? Just to think about it that way. This is going to be more automatic. This is going to automatically see things in emails. This is automatically going to see things in SharePoint and Google Drive and so on. and it's going to add it to this bigger knowledge base, and it's going to create this like AI brain, otherwise known as like a RAG database, where it can retrieve information at a very accurate rate very quickly. So in here, you have a few things that you can interact with when it comes to the company knowledge. So you have a conversational search engine about anything, any file, any email that's come through the company. Now, there's company level stuff like Drive folders, SharePoint, folder systems, whatever you guys have. And then there's going to be your specific stuff where it's not going to share your emails with the entire company. That's not what that means. It means that you're going to be able to search and have a conversation with your emails. Your emails are locked with you. Google Drive is open, obviously, to the entire company. And you guys can set these permissions as you see fit for the company. But company knowledge serves as an advanced search engine that not only retrieves information, but interacts with users in a conversational manner. This allows employees to ask complex questions and receive comprehensive answers based on the collective data from their internal systems. So we're doing this at Contracts Connected, for example. So I'm going to give you a example of how it works in our software for our users. They have all of their, compliance documents and vendor documents stored in a drive, basically within our system. It automatically files it away. They can ask a super plain Jane, very unspecific question about a document or where to get a document or where a document is. So, hey, there's a drywall guy on the project for this like Sunrise Logistics Center. Can you find the most recent COI and tell me, if it's within date or if it's expired? And then it will reply back, hey, yeah, I've just searched through all of your PDFs. I've read through everything. Here is that COI. Here's all the information in it in text form where you can quickly read it. You don't need to open this PDF, but here's the PDF too, just in case you need it. And it gives you a link there. So that's how we're building it. This is going to work the same way. This is just, a more, collaborative approach across that. It's going to integrate with a lot of different tools. So I have them listed here and I'm going to share with you guys a little bit more in just a bit. But by integrating with tools like Microsoft, SharePoint, Google Drive, and Slack, company knowledge provides seamless access to vital company data. This integration ensures that users can retrieve document, project updates, and communication logs without switching between applications. And I have a little surprise at the end of this that I wanted to share with you guys that's new with ChatGPT specifically, but it's going to connect with this at an even deeper level. Contextual answers to save time. So with context-specific answers tailored to your organization, company knowledge, it reduces the time spent on manual searches. It aggregates relevant information from various sources, enabling quicker decision-making and minimizing delays and project management. So as I mentioned, the people that are currently in construction that are not seeing the value from AI, they're not seeing the value because they miss context when they do their prompts. And if you guys were part of the webinar where I did my advanced prompting, again, that webinar is available with the link in the chat here with that 7-day free trial. There is something called context. You can basically give it a ton of documentation, a ton of background information about a project or about how you operate within a project, or, if you're trying to draft an RFI, previous RFIs you've written with your specific, language, your specific tone, and your specific format. And a lot of the people that aren't seeing the value aren't putting in that context. They're trying to get in there, they're trying to ask it one simple question, they get a generic result, and they say, this is trash, I'm out. And this is going to work to automatically give every single one of their prompts context. So those guys that haven't seen value in the past, they will start to see value once companies start to integrate company knowledge, because all of their previous RFIs they've written are going to be in there. Their tone, their style, the details, the level of detail, all of that stuff is going to be in there. But in addition to that, the other context is the project information. So it'll have the background PDFs about, what's been done on this project so far, what communications have been, written about this project that they've been involved in. And those are the two biggest missing pieces that prevents those guys from seeing progress with AI today. They aren't giving it the context about how they work, and they're not giving it the context about what they're working on. So with those two items solved, by automatically having access to all of these files and all this documentation, your team is going to, already have this, and it's also going to save them time. Now, the benefits here around building out your company knowledge or connecting in your company knowledge assets is accelerating project timelines due to, no delays, people waiting on emails or waiting on replies because it's going to take time to write that RFI. It's going to improve your accuracy in reporting. So you guys can now, generate reports based on what files are received in emails, what files are received in your drive, and you don't have to update Excel trackers or try to create these manual reports. There's not so much, information in silos. So, the certificate of insurance is a great example. And this is one thing that we try to do at Contracts Connected is the PM might need to get this certificate of insurance. They might need to check it. That might be part of the process, or there might be an instance in which they actually needed to see it. Now, right, as it stands today, most companies have a direct point of contact, a contract administrator, somebody like that that has that information. It's siloed, right? By opening it up to a chat with company knowledge, that person, that contract administrator is no longer getting bothered. There's no delay between the PM asking for it and getting it. It's just a chat and it gives them that in the chat. So now the PM is saving time, the contract administrator is saving time, and there's no delay in between the PM calling or texting or emailing the contract administrator and that document getting there. So if there's a sub standing right in front of them on the job site, they can continue their day with no delays. Um, Better project tracking, obviously, and then increases responsiveness to changes. So one other thing here that I'm going to talk about with when we're talking about the benefits is, one thing that people might be worried about, and that's sharing your knowledge with ChatGPT or sharing your knowledge with any AI, for instance. And while it is a valid concern, um, with the business plan, which is only $5 more a month per person than the personal plan, you're having a lot more control over your data. You can already control your data in the personal plan, and this is for every AI account, every type of AI account. You can go in there and set your settings to not share that information. With the business plan, it's even more locked down. And this used to be something that had the barrier to entry when it came to you had to buy this like $200 a month plan. They've reduced it. They want to get teams in here, even if you're a small team, or even if you're only going to share it with your department and there's only 3 of you in your department. It's creating this situation where you guys can now come in, create your company knowledge, and then create shared projects as well. So that takes me to this point. Company knowledge is designed to prioritize the security and privacy of your organization's information. OpenAI implements robust security measures that ensure your data remains confidential, accessible only to authorized personnel, and encrypted during all interactions, thereby maintaining compliance with industry standards. And if you guys are in the federal space, good news for you, ChatGPT, OpenAI is working on a federal specific OpenAI kind of like instance. And this is just quickly going to have more security. It's going to comply with those security standards that you guys are being held to. I don't know what their roadmap is for FedRAMP, but as long as you guys aren't pasting CUI directly into ChatGPT, you guys should be fine. Just keep your CUI, out of AI. Alrighty, so shared prompts and shared projects. That's the second piece here. So shared prompts can unlock a little bit more efficiency around how your company specifically, how your construction company operates, because there's no two construction companies that do things the same way, unfortunately for me as a software builder. So I have to, build a software that can really flex to all of these companies that onboard with us. But this is going to help you guys create a centralized library of prompts. So if you guys have a PM, or you're the PM, or you're the executive, or whoever it is, and you're into AI, like you like it, you do it a lot, you try it out a lot, and you have really good prompts. This is going to unlock you guys being able to bring up the rest of the company with you. So if you guys have prompts you're using all the time around how to, respond to an RFI, how to analyze a certificate of insurance, like we did on our last webinar, you can actually write it and put it in a library that the rest of your team will have access to. And one other thing here is I'm going to show you guys how you can share projects. So if you think of like a project management solution, we're now stepping into that realm as well with AI, where it's like, hey, this is my project. I share it with these people. These people help me manage this project. I have my project manager, my contract administrator, and so on. Everybody has access to this project in my ChatGPT account, and we'll get into that too. Ensuring consistency and communication. So by utilizing the shared prompts, teams can maintain consistency. Ensuring that all the documentation, reports, and emails are aligned with the company's branding style, guidelines, tone, and etc. It's going to basically enhance the professionalism that comes out of AI when you guys are using it. So we're taking all of this, like everybody's doing AI a different way and in their own ChatGPT accounts, and we're streamlining this now. So streamlining collaboration and access to information, shared prompts, or shared projects. Facilitate collaboration by keeping all relevant information, instructions, and project context in one accessible location. This allows team members to easily find and utilize shared knowledge without the need for repetitive explanations or searches. And in terms of like connecting this to projects, you guys are now going to have a more uniform, project documentation. Everybody's writing RFIs the same way. Like you guys have a company standard here. You're going to take your best example or your best RFIs you've ever written or your best proposals you've ever written. And now this is the standard for that shared prompt. You're going to improve the collaboration and efficiency. Again, it's about, getting those guys that aren't seeing the benefits with AI right now, getting them to see that benefit so they are on the boat and they are moving quickly and they're being more productive. Faster training for new hires by putting these shared prompts in here about, how you guys respond to things, how you guys reply to emails. This is going to allow you to take that company knowledge that might be in a PM, your best PM's head, and when he gets a big juicy offer from, some national GC and he wants to leave, that information is, taken and put into your guys's shared prompt library so you guys can actually benefit from that for years and years to come. It's not leaving with the employee anymore. The way that they operated, the things that they checked, the questions that they asked is now going to be stored in a structured way for you guys to use these shared projects and shared prompts. Consistency and communication, looking like a well-oiled machine with standard operating procedures. Have, your employees put in the information however they need, but have the structured output from that shared prompt be the same every time, increasing that, level of professionalism and the status of the GC. And then, reporting as well. When you have things coming out structured, you can run structured reports on it. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys the company knowledge and how easy it is to connect. And then I'm going to show you guys a shared project here. So in this demo, I'm gonna present a realistic construction project scenario, and we're gonna kind of jump in. So if you guys have upgraded, and I recommend that you do, if you have not, if you're not paying for ChatGPT at all, you got to get on the boat like now. If you're on this webinar, you are somebody that is, forward thinking as far as AI goes, and being, just paying $20 a month to unlock the amount of stuff that you get is a no-brainer. This is a $25 a month account, and this is now a business workspace account here that you're looking at. It looks very similar if you guys are only on the $20 a month account, but I'm going to show you a couple of things in here. Okay, so you're going to notice now company knowledge. This is new. And this is something that I'm gonna basically just explain how easy it is to use. So you basically click your company knowledge, and it's going to show you the sources in which it can grab knowledge from. Now, if you want to connect more things, you can see I have my Google Drive and my Gmail here. Let's say I want to connect my Google Calendar. And just so you guys know, it has all of these options here. So you can connect Asana, you can connect Dropbox, Google Calendar, Google Contacts, Outlook, Outlook email, SharePoint, Teams, Slack, Zoho Desk, Teamwork, and then you can also connect even more outside of these connectors. These are just the ones that are pretty easy in terms of I can click it, cool, and I can click connect, continue. You're going to basically get to pick your account, continue, and now it has access to the events on my Google Calendar and it can interact with them. So I can say, I can now interact with any of those pieces of information around my company data. But if I wanted to, I could also, ask it information about um, specific items in my Google Drive. So I can say, and you can ask it about, a project detail in your specific folder. You can say, hey, I need this certificate of insurance. Hey, can you pull up this W-9? Hey, can you, pull up the most recent, change order, and so on. So you can see the different actions that it's taking. It's looking for specific titles. This isn't like so much of a snap of your finger instant process. But I can show you guys as well. I mean, if we're waiting for this, we might as well. So, this is another example here where I can say, give me, and then it's going to do the same kind of process. But it's going to just search through your files, find whatever you need, and then it's going to display it back to you. So this is, if you have a lot of files in here, the more files you have, the longer it's going to take, because it's not necessarily creating like a RAG database for you. It's just has access and it can do these searches manually. Now, this is, how you guys can continue to create more and more company knowledge here. So company knowledge is a feature that's specific to business accounts. So again, it's the $25 a month account, but you can see all the different things that it can have access to. Now, if I come over to projects, this is one project that I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper with you guys and talk more about I'm going to talk a little bit more about our new project here. So, in terms of this project name, this project is going to be something that I can share across multiple companies. So, in terms of not multiple companies, multiple people. So, if I have a project and it's called the Sunrise Logistics Center, I can create this project. And I can now start adding files to this project. So I can start adding things like, the prime contract. I can start adding things like compliance documents. I can start adding, owner change orders and, subcontractor change orders. I can start adding a bunch of different things in here with our project files. So I can come in and let me just grab some, I have some project files from last week's webinar. So give me 1 second and I'm gonna drop those in here. Okay, so I have my plans and then I'm gonna throw in RFPs and maybe some specs. And I think that that's all I'll throw in there for now. Cool. So you can add all of these files to your project and create this project knowledge database here. You'll see that I have my 6 files. This is my project folder. And now I can start to interact with not only these files, but anything else that's been associated with this project. So I can say, give me a And I'm doing really basic examples here. This is obviously going to get more and more complex as you guys add more and more files. So now you see underneath my folder, we have a prompt here. And this is basically all of the different information that it's pulling out of those project documents. And I can ask it any question about any of these, or I can ask it to draft up anything that I need. I can also like upload, via add photos and files. I can upload something like an RFI, and then I can have it respond to that. So here's basically all of the information that it has about, what we have done so far on this project. One thing that I want to share about this project specifically is the ability to share it. And I want to make sure you guys can see the share button here. So I can share this with people in my team, groups, and so on. So now I can create this AI knowledge hub, this backend, AI knowledge base about what we have in terms of the knowledge for this project or previous chats that I've done. So if I have a chat history going on, drafting a proposal for a project that we want to win or something like that, somebody on my team can also pick up on, the previous files or previous proposals that have won. And then we can chat with it and get it closer to a proposal that is going to win now. So, you can change this to anybody at your company, or you can change this to only the people invited are going to be able to access your project. You can also put this on, a dashboard or, somewhere that you guys display your project information as a link. So now you can add in not only project information, but this can be kind of a resource for anybody on your team to come ask questions. And if you tie in the company knowledge, that's where you guys are going to get some really big unlocks in terms of it knows everything. It's going to be able to see all of our previous information. It's going to be able to see all of the project files that we have so far, and then it's going to be able to reference any additional things that we've specifically added to this project. So and then you're going to be able to see your team's full chat history with this project too. So if, Blake, my project manager, came in and he was asking it questions about specific spec sections for a specific subcontractor, I'm going to be able to see that. I'll be able to come in here and pick up where he left off. And we're going to be able to chat with this knowledge base together in that one thread. So The projects, I think, are a way that, construction can start to um, utilize this a little bit more, because that big gap where I'm talking about you guys not having your project information properly put in here, that is something that this is going to somewhat connect the dots on. This is not going to be the perfect solution. Obviously, there's some workarounds that you have to do by connecting in your guys' stuff. One other thing with the projects is you can add instructions, and this is going to be something like what we call a system prompt. And system prompts are going to be things that are very specific to how the brain should think. So if you guys are a project manager and you're only sharing this with your project management team or project support team, as some companies call it, you can put in here, act as this is your context, like this is the company you work for, and so on. And this can be kind of a unique way to say, act as a project manager at ZK Construction, and your primary goal is going to be to do items 1, 2, and 3, for example. Now I'm going to close out of here. If there's any questions on, project sharing specifically, it really comes down to, you can put in project specific files. Now you can ask and interact with them. And then your company knowledge can have access to the rest of your stuff, like your calendars, your Google Drives, and so on, to pull all of your project information and project details together and create a more robust team or enterprise AI account here. And if there aren't any questions, I wanted to, share this release date here. So what you guys are learning is, up to date as of 5 days ago. So they just released shared projects here. And this is, the whole purpose of this webinar is to keep you guys up to date on what's happening and what's coming out. And one other thing that I want to show you guys is ChatGPT came out with its own internet browser to rival Google Chrome, or Internet Explorer, Safari, whatever you use. ChatGPT now has its own internet browser that I would love to show you guys here in just a second. But essentially, starting today, project sharing is now available to all ChatGPT users, including free, Pro, Plus, and Go users. And ChatGPT can draw off anything in a shared project, including chats, uploaded files, custom instructions. So responses are formed by your group's internal knowledge, and you can pick up where others left off. Shared projects are ideal for group work, uploading notes, proposals, and contracts, so collaborators can draft deliverables faster. Content creation, applying project-specific instructions to keep tone and style. Reporting and research. So, a lot of this stuff feels like it's built for construction specifically. And this is on OpenAI's main release notes website. They release stuff every single day, basically, and they'll write here about what they're releasing. Project owners can choose to share a project with only invited, anyone with a link, and can change visibility settings at any time, including switching back to invite only. The following collaboration limits apply. So pro users, this is going to be that $25 a month account. You can put up to 40 files and have up to 100 people access those 40 files in different chats. The plus, which is the $20 a month account, that is going to be up to 25 files and 100 or 10 collaborators, sorry. And then free users can only put in those 5 files. So you can see, like I said, if you guys are here and you're AI forward, you're really going to want to be dialed into at least that $20 a month account. It's like pennies on the dollar in comparison to the value that you'll get. So with that, I do have some time here, and I'm going to show you guys OpenAI's new web browser. It's something that I haven't adopted fully myself, but I've been playing around with it. And I thought it would be fun to share it with you guys. So let me know if you guys can't see this in the chat, but you guys should be able to see this. So this is what it looks like. This is the OpenAI browser here. It's pretty simple. It's pretty much the same thing that you would imagine any other browser to be. But essentially, instead of a web browser tool, you now have this Ask ChatGPT or type a URL. And when I say something like, uh, I'm gonna prompt it just like I would normally. Oops. See, this is new for me. So I want it to be in a browser window. So you have to be in this browser window where it says URL. Here's what I want. So this home icon up here, it's always going to default to ChatGPT, which is I think good and bad because you can have it, go into agent mode where it's now going to, come in here and follow along and click on things for you. But you're also going to see that you have a web search icon up here. You have an image icon up here, you have a videos, and you have a news. So it's dividing things up for you. This is going to be basically powered by Google search, and you can go straight to Google here if you would like, but it's going to basically list the articles like we're used to navigating in images, just like we're used to in Google as well, videos, and news. So this does a little bit better, in my opinion, job than Google when I'm searching random things or I want to learn things, because not only do I have the summary here, but then I also have my web, my images, and my videos all in one place. Now, additionally, like when I'm searching across the web or, I'm doing something, like if I come to our website, I can now come in and have AI or ChatGPT actually interact with the web page in which I'm viewing. So if I come down to, let's just say this piece here, I'm going to move my little chat window. So you'll have a button up here that says Ask ChatGPT. And this is actually going to open a chat window with the window that I'm looking at as reference already. So I can start to interact with ChatGPT, and I can say, start a cart. I can say find products. I can say perform a task here. So I can say like look for the cheapest flight or like give me a summary. So I'm going to say um, like I'm having trouble finding this contact page, so I want it to do this on my behalf. So here is agent mode. Now, basically reading the page, it's thinking about what it needs to do. It's finding the contact us button. It's basically clicking that. And then it's gonna basically tell me that I'm here. This is what you asked for, and so on. Additionally, you can have it do more complex things like, add things to cart, find the best sunscreen with the highest rating with the least amount of chemicals that is available at Target.com, as much as you want. So this ChatGPT, Ask ChatGPT, is really cool on the left-hand side. And then you also have the ability to, highlight certain text here. And when you highlight text, it will basically, you can ask it a question just based off the text that you've highlighted. If you're chatting and you say, let's say I have this going. If you highlight things, you'll notice a little ChatGPT icon here, and you can say, an update, and your text is now there. So you're able to chat with it much more dynamically. In addition, your previous chat history is always going to be on the left-hand side. So you can now see my Sunrise Logistics Center is here. If I ever want to get back into my Sunrise Logistics Center, if I ever want to build reports, plan client work, or do research with other people on my team, I can do so right here with this share button. Oh man, you guys didn't see that? Okay, 1 second. I'll give you a refresh of it. Sorry about that. All right, let me know. Let me know if you guys got it now. Sorry about that, guys. I got carried away and didn't look at my Q&A. I'm assuming everything is good to go, that you guys can see this now. Because I don't have any more people chatting in that they can't see it. Okay, we're good. Awesome. So I'm gonna basically start from scratch here. So essentially, I can now type in, this is the, again, the ChatGPT browser they just released. I'm testing it. I'm very likely going to switch away from Google Chrome and start using this solely. Right now, I always have a window of this open and a window of ChatGPT open, or Google Chrome open, until I get more familiar. But let's say, contractsconnected.com. You'll notice that you can write a prompt there, or you can write a URL there. So I wrote a URL. It's going to take me straight to the URL, just like it is a web browser, right? So if I wanted to ask it a question like, tell me best, you're going to see that I have different tabs up here. I have my home tab, which is going to be a traditional ChatGPT experience. I have my search tab, which is going to be a traditional Google search experience. I can even go to Google here. And then I have my images. So these are all the images. You have videos here and news. So this is now using AI to search the internet and present the best information, not only from a summary, but like, okay, now I want to dive deeper. I want to get into some links, some specific companies. I want images, I want videos, I want news. So this is a pretty cool user browsing experience now. Additionally, like if I go and I typed in a direct URL like contractsconnected.com, I can now interact with my website pages a few different ways. So you're going to notice there's a Ask ChatGPT button up here in the top right-hand corner. And if I click this, you're going to notice that a chat window comes up and it's already going to have the page that I'm on for context. So I'm going to ask it to actually do an action. You could say, explain pricing, summarize the value, add an agent. So I'm actually going to say an agent, or let's just see if it can summarize the value in 3 bullets. So it's going to read the page. It's going to now interact with the page for me. The next piece that I'm going to do is actually the coolest piece. So you're seeing here that it automates back office work, stays compliant effortlessly, and scale without overhead. Now, if I say I want to go into agent mode, um, so agent mode, just so you guys have reference, is when it's going to take action for you. So I have agent mode here. It's now reading the page. AI is understanding what's going on this website. It's now understanding what its main goal is for it to do. So you'll see it's going to go click on contact us by itself. And this is a very simple example, but you guys can get very, very complex with this stuff. You guys can have it, research, like I said, all of the sunscreen that Target has, read the ingredients, analyze the ingredients to make sure that it's like the least toxic, and so on. Now, when you're on certain page, you'll see that I navigated to the Contact Us page. Great. I would have loved for it to click in and write its own message, but you can now say things like, I need price, if I could spell. And within ChatGPT browser, now when you highlight text, you'll see this little ChatGPT icon here. So I can click on this and I can say, refine this and ask more questions related. What? So now you can interact with the text as you're typing it, and this will go across your guys' email. This will go across your guys' like Word documents, whatever you're working on. So as soon as you're happy with that, you can ask for another edit, or you can click update, and you'll see that it's following up, asking additional questions, and so on. So this is a pretty cool little feature here. Now, your guys' additional kind of information is also going to be here as far as your overall ChatGPT account goes. So you'll see we have a pop-up window on the left and we have this pop-up window on the right. If I want to kind of like take this out and I want just this window over here, I will say that it's not 100% dialed in as far as like how good Google Chrome is. There are still some bugs they're working out. You know, Google Chrome has been around for years and years and years and years, and ChatGPT has built this recently. But you'll see the Sunrise Logistics Center here that we built together earlier in this webinar. So here is the Sunrise Logistics Center. Here is all the project files. Here is the project summary. And I can pick up right where I left off with my team. And this is all native within that browser experience here. So you guys really have kind of a lot of tools unlocked. And again, you can start sharing it with your team and interacting with it in different ways. You now have your browser built in. This is going to become a seamless process for you guys to now leverage ChatGPT and AI in even more advanced ways. So yeah, that's kind of the time in terms of what I have to show to you guys today. I will say that we have a lot of stuff going on inside of the AI Blueprint group here. And we've opened it up to free trials for you guys. So there is actually no cost to join it for the first week. If you guys decide after the first week that you've learned a lot, it's $10 a month. In terms of what you guys get, we have a library of 40 short videos taking guys from AI beginner to AI professional. We do weekly webinars, obviously, but the lifetime replays are in there, as well as the private office hours for anybody in there can jump in and see it. Ask me any questions one-on-one. Tool breakdowns, prompt libraries, ready-to-use automations. I post every single day in there, just so you guys know. Every single day, I post either a piece of AI news, a infographic, something that's going to help you, a prompt that you can take every single day. I do not miss on Monday to Fridays. I post value in there every single day. There's something new. There's a private community of GCs. So when I post that new stuff, the 54 members in there comment on it. They talk about how they might apply this to their business, tweaks that they might have tried, and so on. And then we have templates, workflows. We have basically all of these kind of like plug and play solutions in here that are pre-built that companies are using, and we're building it as companies ask for it. So the members in there say, hey, it would be really great if I didn't have to, you know, browse every morning across this database and copy and paste this thing. And if I had a report just generate for me every morning and email it to me, I go build it. And I build it for free for them and part of the group, and then I share it with these group members. So overall, you know, $10 is less than the cost of lunch. And you can unlock, you know, unlimited productivity gains. And there is that free trial there for you guys. And I am going to put the link in the chat one more time. If you guys would like to join, I would love to see you in there. Again, try it for free for a week. Watch the videos. We do increase the pricing every 50 members. So we're currently in the $10 a month realm. But as more people join, as we, you know, continue to post every single day, we're going to have more value in here, and we're going to be increasing the price as a result. So That's what I have for you guys today. I'm happy to answer any more questions in the QA if you guys throw them in here. If I missed any questions because I had a ton of QA stuff happening with people basically telling me my screen wasn't working. Um, that's something that I can do now, and I can follow up on those questions. And again, if anybody needs that link, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn, or my email is zach.kerber@gmail or at contractsconnected.com. And yeah, thanks for coming, guys. I hope, like always, that you walk away from today's webinar feeling like you learned something, feeling like you gained knowledge, feeling like, you have another weapon or tool in your tool belt to be more productive, that you're on the forefront. Like you guys just learned about shared projects that I think is very specifically built for construction, if I'm being honest. And that was just released a few days ago. So, we're keeping you guys up to date here. Thanks for joining. The support's been absolutely amazing. All the people that have been joining every single week, all the people that have been joining and commenting in this community. It's been really fun to see. So thank you guys again. We have 3 minutes here. I'll probably hang out for the next 3 minutes before my next meeting. But yeah, happy to have you guys. Happy to see you here. And I'm also happy to see like the construction industry is um, really investing and forward leaning in terms of AI, because I think that the industry gets a bad rep on adopting technology late, or being slow to adopt technology, and I don't think that's the case. So yeah, happy to have you guys, and I hope to see you guys on next week's webinar. I'll be announcing the title and the topic there. In the future. Thanks for the note, Bill. Good to see you. Thanks for the note, Mr. Tapia. Good to see you as well. I'm glad that you guys are thinking this is helpful. My webinar last week, if you guys did not see it, has been one of my favorites. This one might top last week's, but if you guys have not seen last week's, we built some custom GPTs, and that I think has been like one of the best webinars to date. I'm gonna have to think about if this one surpasses that or not. But if you guys haven't seen that, again, you guys can get in there. Yeah, thanks, Sean. That means a lot. Christopher says the biggest part of the construction industry would be for ChatGPT to understand, interpret, etc., engineering and construction drawings. What is your experience on this? So with when we're talking about drawings, Christopher, we are talking about things like it's called optical character recognition, if you want the nerd term for it. But it's also called parsing. So AI itself does not read or understand, and I'm going to do my best to keep this short. It does not read or understand the PDF as a PDF. What it does is it uses optical character recognition, or object recognition or table recognition. To what it does is it calls parse out the document into what's called markdown. Markdown is like a code version or a text version of the document. And with drawing specifically, like it's more than just a table, right? And in Llama, Facebook's AI platform, Llama, they are specifically working on more advanced, understanding of things like drawings, um, like, different project related documents and so on. And it's actually able to maintain and retain that structure or that vision when it puts it into the database that you can now ask questions off of. So, Christopher, I'm not sure if you're in that AI blueprint, but if you wanted to, I would say on Thursday, my office hours, I would love, or if even if you want to email me one-on-one, I would love to take, some project drawings and put it into, it's not publicly available. It's not like a ChatGPT. I can show you a quick way to do it for free. But they have, it's called Llama Parse, and it's a specific entire engineering team, a whole engineering team at Facebook, Meta, that is developing an AI just to parse out information like the construction drawing. So it's not to say that it's not there. It's to say that, platforms as simple as ChatGPT don't have it released to the general public yet. Will they? I'm sure. I'm sure they will. But right now, a way that you can accomplish this is with something like Llama Parse that is going to be able to retain the structure, the positioning of the text, the positioning of the lines. And when you have chat like an AI LLM now prompt a question against that, it's going to be able to remember where things were geographically on that page, if that makes sense. And that's been the missing link, in my opinion, so far for the drawings in construction. I hope that helps, Christopher. And Sean said, I would love to see. Okay, cool. Yeah, we could do that in office hours this Thursday. And if we want to dive even deeper, I can make next Tuesday's webinar about that specifically. So thanks for that question. I love questions like that. Makes a better kind of like knowledge base and stuff for everybody. So thank you guys. I think we're up on time. I am officially late to my next meeting, and I just wanted to say thanks again for all the support and all the kind messages here. It's been really awesome to have you guys as part of this community, and I hope to keep seeing you here. All right. See everybody on the next one. And don't be afraid to reach out if you have any questions or if you need any help specifically. See you guys.